Disappear for 30 days. No unnecessary messages. No constant presence. No explaining yourself. No chasing attention. Just disappear. Most people are afraid of doing this. They believe that if they step away, people will forget them. But something very different usually happens. When you disappear, people begin to notice something they never noticed before: your absence. Human beings rarely appreciate what is constantly available. When someone is always present, always responding, always trying, their presence slowly becomes normal, predictable, expected. And the moment something becomes predictable, the brain stops valuing it. But absence changes perception. When you disappear for a while, people begin to feel the gap you left behind. They notice the silence. They notice the missing conversations. They notice the missing energy. Because absence creates something powerful: contrast. It reminds people what your presence used to bring. But the real transformation doesn't happen in other people. It happens inside you. When you stop constantly reacting to the world around you, your mind becomes quiet. You begin to see things more clearly. Most people spend their entire lives responding to noise. Notifications, messages, opinions, expectations. They are constantly pulled into other people's priorities, and without realizing it, they lose control of their own time. Disappearing interrupts that cycle. When you step away from constant social interaction, you regain something extremely valuable: focus. You begin to notice how much mental energy you used to spend on things that never really mattered. Trying to impress people. Trying to keep everyone happy. Trying to maintain conversations that brought no value to your life. For the first time in a long time, your attention returns to you. Your goals, your growth, your direction. And that is where the real power of disappearing begins. Because when your attention stops feeding distractions, it starts feeding improvement. You begin reading more, thinking more, training more, learning more, working on things that actually move your life forward. And slowly, something inside you starts to change. You become less dependent on external validation, less concerned with what people think, less interested in approval. Instead of asking how others perceive you, you begin asking a far more important question: who are you becoming? This shift is powerful, because the moment you stop seeking validation, people begin perceiving you differently. Confidence begins to appear. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself. And quiet confidence makes people curious. When someone who used to be constantly available suddenly becomes focused on their own path, people begin wondering what changed. Why are they different now? What are they doing? Why do they seem calmer? Sometimes your absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. But disappearing also reveals something important about the people around you. It shows you who truly values your presence. When you stop reaching out, some people will never reach out again. At first, that realization can feel uncomfortable. But in reality, it is clarity. Not everyone in your life was meant to stay. Some connections only survive as long as you keep maintaining them. And when you step back, those connections quietly disappear. But this is not a loss. It is a filter. It removes the relationships that were never built on real value, and it reveals the ones that actually matter. Because the people who genuinely respect and appreciate you will still notice your absence. They will check in. They will reach out. They will show that your presence meant something. But the most interesting change happens when you return. After 30 days of focusing on yourself, something about you feels different. You are calmer, more disciplined, less reactive, more focused. And people can sense that shift immediately. Because personal growth changes the energy you bring into a room. You speak less, but your words carry more weight. You react less, but your presence feels stronger. You are no longer trying to be noticed, and ironically, that is when people begin noticing you the most. This is one of the strange paradoxes of human psychology. The moment you stop chasing attention, Attention begins chasing you. But the true purpose of disappearing is not to make people miss you. It is to reconnect with yourself. Because most people are so busy maintaining their image in the eyes of others that they forget to build the person behind that image. They become socially active, but internally empty. Present everywhere, but progressing nowhere. Disappearing for a while forces you to step away from that cycle. It gives you space to rebuild discipline, to strengthen your mind, to clarify your direction, to become someone you actually respect. And when you return to the world with that stronger version of yourself, something remarkable happens. People treat you differently, not because you demanded respect, but because your actions quietly changed your value. Remember this: presence can be powerful, but absence can be transformational. Sometimes the most important step forward in life is not speaking louder, not trying harder, not being everywhere at once. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is simply stepping away. Because the person you become in those silent days of focus and discipline is often far stronger than the person you were before you disappeared. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content on personal growth.